Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show with your host, Johnny. Today we'll be touching bases on what's going on the Mexico border and also issues within our own country. I will now turn the mic over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Thank you, Pete, and welcome to the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show, ladies and gentlemen. Going to go a little bit of time here. We want to be able to get some people in here tonight. We have a very special guest. We're going to use the name Troy. He is one of our patriots with a group of our other patriots that have been in our boots on the ground in Mexico. He's going to be giving updates of everything that's going on and has been going on. I'm not going to give you the name of how many people we have actually with his group. However, he is going to explain everything that we've been trying to tell everybody. But this gentleman is boots on the ground, witnessing what's going on, has been fighting the caravans, physically fighting them, and putting his life on the line. This is what a patriot is about. It's protecting our country because he loves our country, loves our flag, and loves our president. I do want to welcome again, I want to welcome the St. Bernard Parish, which is the Sheriff's Department out of Louisiana, that's avid listeners, and all of our other listeners too. I'm proud to have you. And I think that this information that you're going to get tonight is going to open your eyes a whole lot. This man isn't just a man talking. He is boots on the ground in Mexico. He has been dealing with the caravans personally, physically fighting with them, and what is going on. So with that, Troy, I'm going to turn it over to you. When you're finished with everything you have to say, if anybody has any questions, they can ask Troy, and if he can answer them. Now he will be speaking Spanish in some of this because he has Spanish listeners and also other people. I see we have 21 listeners already, and I thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you for joining us. So Troy, go ahead, and ladies and gentlemen, when you meet Troy, very honest patriot, very good man. He is Mexican-American. He's been through a police academy in the United States. And what he has to say, I'll tell you what, you better listen to, because this is what we've been trying to tell you, because these people are not coming as our friends, and I'm sure Troy will make you understand that. So go ahead, Troy.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing? And all to your listeners. Like you were saying, I belong to a group that is called En Contra de la Caravana. That's against the Caravan. Now, this group that we formed, it's approximately 300 people. And we communicate all the facts that we can between each other. And we try not to give this personal information until we find out it's the truth or not. But apparently everything's been correct, and we get all this information because there's people everywhere like me, like you, like your listeners that are interested in knowing what exactly is happening. Now, one of the facts that is happening, and I'm going to point it out straight to your listeners, and you better listen, pay attention, is that there's a silent war coming. What do I mean by silent war? Una guerra de silencio. It's an invisible man, coming to Mexico, nuestro país de Mexico, and the United States, creating chaos. Now, me as a Mexican citizen, I could acknowledge and tell you very direct at the point that whoever's not paying attention to this, either is too busy on Facebook, either is too busy doing something, then you know what? Later on, you're going to regret it. And why am I saying you're going to regret it? It's because there is this invisible man coming to our country. He's not knocking on the doors. He's forcing entry into Mexico and in the United States. Now, all the border of Mexico and the United States, New Mexico, all those places, Arizona, all those places, California, there's a massive of 25,000 members of the Caravan. Most of them, again, from Guatemala, Venezuela, El Salvador, Honduras, and now we have Africans coming, and so we have from other countries. At this point, my group is trying to get all this information. And let me tell you this point. This is a fact. Okay, it's like we get the news before the news gets it, and that's because our group is growing tremendously. We have contact in South of Mexico, Central Mexico, and North of Mexico. This information is correct. It is true, and I've had contact where I even have recordings here where they give me all the information, and later on we find out that some of the information was distorted. Not true like how it happened, but the truth is the way we found out the way it is. Now, let me tell you, Americans, and all those mexicanos que están escuchando en esta estación de radio, there is a war coming, a silent war, like I said, and most of this caravan will be entering to New Mexico and California and some other borders of the United States, even Canada too. Okay? Now, one of the facts that I'm trying to point out too is that I was in the last November 18, 2018, I was involved in the one of the caravans there that wanted to enter in Tijuana, Mexico, forcing its entry. And I was involved in that with the group against the caravan, trying to not to let them in. And they attacked us with rocks, throwing rocks, and a lot of Mexicans got injured. A lot of people from my group got injured. Now, a lot of these things you will not hear in the news, but it's a true fact. There's another lady by the name of Paloma. She was there. Paloma is a strong person. She's a person dedicated to the country, and she came all the way over here to Mexico to support us. Now, there's this gentleman, Mexican, that was in the group of the caravan on that date, that acknowledged the true fact that this was an invasion, because we are starting to understand as Mexicans that Mr. Donald Trump was correct, as when he said to, I believe it was CNN or someone around there, that this is not an invasion, that this is a group of caravan that are poor people. Let me tell you something about that. If you were to come to Mexico, which I welcome you open-hearted, I'll open the doors and I will personally take you to all these places, and then you will walk away from here. The homicides in Mexico have increased. Drugs have increased. Crimes have increased. A lot of these people that come from Central America, it's a third world country. Okay, they're farmers. Some of them don't even know nothing about technology. And what they're doing is they're getting involved with drug lords, cartels. They're training them. I saw a group of those gentlemen. They have a tremendous physical strength. Understand this, physical strength. They have bodies to run like militaries, like the Marines. They climb gates. They do all kinds of things like the military does. And we concluded, and due to the fact that we have this big group that is spared everywhere in Mexico, we have acknowledged that these people, some of them have military training. Now, I'm going to tell you something very important. With all these things, all these facts that we have pointed out to the people of Mexico, López Obrador was in Mexico, in Tijuana yesterday, okay? And we formed a group of approximately 90 people. Let me tell you something. The rest of the group are being threatened. Most of us are being threatened. I was threatened. I'm not going to mention the name of our group leader, but this group leader went inside these camps, refugee camps, whatever you want to call them, to talk to these people to see what they want. Why is it that they're choosing Tijuana, and most of them coming to Tijuana, and a lot of them are starting to disperse silently to different parts of the country? I'm talking about the border. I'm sorry. And what is it exactly that they want? You know, we're giving them. Mexico has given them hospitality ever since they walked in when Peña Nieto was still in power. They approximately 7,000 members of this caravan reached Tijuana. Some of them dispersed to different parts of the border, and most of them stayed over here. But now they're using different tactics. They're using intelligence. What they're going to do is they're going to disperse into New Mexico, which I totally told several members of the group that they should be aware, because we're trying to give this information to other groups that belong to that side of the border of New Mexico and the Mexican side. Now, I am totally convinced and aware that with all this information given, it's because they have come to declare war silently, but it's going to happen. Now, well, the part that I don't understand is exactly what is their point. I do understand it, but from my point of view is, why are they not doing one thing at a time? They're doing different things at a time, which is totally has us confused, because they're planning on doing something. They're using intelligence when they're trying to gather together. Like I was saying a while ago, one of my members was trying to dig in there to see what exactly is what they're planning on doing, because we get different types of information every day, and it's driving us nuts. But we've come to the conclusion that they're trying to invade both countries and trying to collapse the economy in both countries. Now, they keep talking about Mr. Trump. You know, he has to let us in one way or another, one way or another. And the thing is that you have groups in the left, you have groups in the right. You know, the Democrats, Republicans. These people need to get together and just help support Trump, because we strongly, us as Mexicans, want a president like that. I heard, I think France was yelling, "Oh, we want Trump. We want Trump." Now, a lot of people criticize Trump as a racist, and he's not a racist. Let me tell you, he's a patriot, and we wish we had a patriot president like Donald Trump here in Mexico. We're right now we're keeping an eye on López Obrador. He's taking massive decisions of changing the economy in Mexico and opening the country, the borders, and to these caravans, which we don't understand why. Why is it that they're letting it happen? What is exactly the idea? Are the cartels behind this? I mean, he's a good president. I voted for López Obrador. He's kind of like Trump. He keeps his promises. Gasoline's going down now because of López Obrador. The wage has increased in Mexico, and we support that. But what we don't understand is, why is he letting these people in and not involving the Marina, the Mexican military, and confront these caravans? As I say, before the news goes out, we already know about it, and I could tell you way more about what's going on. But I would like to go back to the November 18, when we were protesting against this caravan. It's a peaceful protest, and there was this gentleman that I've noticed that he was wearing a vest, because I saw that a lot of Americans, Mexican Americans, were supporting Mexico. A lot of them came from the United States to support Mexico. I'm talking about the protest. And these guys really put their line at the border there, because I'm telling you, there was a lot of threats there on behalf of the Hondurans and Salvadorians. And another very important fact that I would like to mention is that you got gang members from MS-13 heavily armed. This person, he was heavily being interrogated by this Spanish lady from, I believe, a Spanish accent from Europe, somewhere around there. And she kept asking, why is it that you guys are supporting Mr. Trump? You know, and I was there listening to everything. And this group that I'm involved with, I'm not going to mention his name again, said, it's not that we're supporting Mr. Trump, we're supporting what he does. What he does, the decisions that he makes. And because we strongly believe that he's given the country true facts about how we are implementing strategies. He is implementing strategies, and we're just trying to follow through. And sometimes it's hard for me to believe, why is it that Americans are not following through? Why are they being so divided? Why? Okay, is it because Mr. Trump, of what he says, of what he talks? With all my heart, I could tell you this: whatever comes from Mr. President's mouth is speaking correct, the truth. He's a totally Christian. I've seen him on YouTube where he goes and he prays, and that's a very nice thing to do. We admire Mr. Trump, and although most of us are all Mexicans over here, but we want a patriot president like he is. And like I said, it's not that we support him, but we support what he does. Some people may be talking right now, it's the same thing, criticizing me already of what I'm saying. But the thing is that you want to get things done, right? Now, he's doing whatever he can for the economy in the United States. And just pay attention. I mean, he's got more jobs. He's done a lot of things for the United States that people do not acknowledge, that they do not see with their eyes, because they have their eyes closed. And I'm going back again to the protest when this lady was interrogating this one of the members, said, she tapped him on the back, and she noticed that he had a vest, and he said, and then she said, well, you know what? I think you should wear that vest from now on, because you're putting your life in danger there. I'm telling you that, And then this gentleman said, well, what exactly is it that you were talking about? And then she just stayed quiet. I don't know who this lady was. I don't know who this person was or what was her intention, but she tried to reach into his pocket to get the phone out of there. And that is something really, really, you got to think about it. Who is she? She's some type of person that is undercover of some other country? We don't know. Now, I don't know if you have any more questions, but I could think a lot more questions. I mean, a lot more issues here that are going on right now in Mexico. But I could tell you right now that we are bothered, we are troubled. Not only that, let me tell you another important issue here, that what's going on. Drugs are increasing tremendously in Mexico. These people, all they do every time I go to these camps, either they're doing cocaine, crystal, marijuana, and they're still here. Why? I don't know. I have my points of views. I could point out different issues, but what I don't understand is the government. What's going on? Why is it that now with this massive caravan that is coming over here, they're opening their doors? They're not opening their doors to give them jobs. It's nothing like that. These people don't do nothing to do. All they do is drugs and gangs related, and all those issues that are going around right now is that we have to deal here in Tijuana, Mexico. Otra cosa muy importante, another important thing is that Mexicans, I'm not talking about American Mexicans. Mexicans are troubled and we are being divided tremendously because now we're in fight not only with the Caravan, but with other group of Mexicans that there are in favor of the Caravan. And not only that, but we have Americans, not Asian Americans, not Latino Americans, but Caucasians coming over here to Tijuana and supporting these groups, giving them money, food, shelter, cars, and they're using that to their advantage because now they're starting to buy weapons. A couple weeks ago, what happened? The police, the Mexican Federales, la Policía Federal Municipal de Tijuana, Mexico, had a confrontation with these members, firearms, heavily armed. This is something you're not going to hear in the news because sometimes the news is being threatened. But I have all this information in the group. As I'm speaking right now, I have a group that is informing me right now of things that are happening, and I could put this proof right now, and you could hear people just leaving messages right now saying, "Troy, this is what's happening. We have found this caravan coming on the east side of Tijuana. There's different types of information. They're heavily armed. They have weapons. They have everything." We inform the police. Sometimes they answer the 911. Sometimes they don't. And it's a total mess of what's going on. Tourist has decreased tremendously in Tijuana, Mexicali, Tecate, and Ensenada. It's something that it's really disturbing, and it's causing chaos already silently, little by little. There's another issue that we're having with the, I believe is the LG, lesbian, gay community or something, which, I totally respect who you are, but they're totally supporting these caravans as well. And they're hurting our economy, and they're hurting our people and our families because we are being threatened by these people. They started out with rocks, and now they have weapons in their hands. I wish with all my heart that you would believe, and I could play some of the recordings here that I have to your listeners so that you will pay careful attention of what's going on. They're in Spanish, but we are worried. Our heart is troubled, but what's going on? There's another drug. I'm not really familiar. I don't know a lot about drugs, but there's another one that all they do is they blow it from his hand, and you're totally controlled to what they say. If they tell you to go to this ATM and withdraw your money, you do it. I don't know. It's something demonized here that it's already in Tijuana and Mexicali. It's just tremendous of what's going on. It's a horrible thing. It's you could see demons everywhere. And I'm telling you, I believe in God, but I'm not a let's say that a fanatic Christian. I believe in God, but I could see and I could sense all the bad things that are happening here in Tijuana, Mexico, and in other parts of Mexico, because I constantly travel back and forth in south of Mexico. Now, another important fact is that Guanajuato, Mexico, central Mexico, Irapuato, Guanajuato, the Mexican military, La Marina, they're constantly fighting these groups, these cartel members. All these cartel members are training these Hondurans and Salvadorians, and they're giving war to the Mexican military. And let me tell you, they're conquering it, because now I have family members over there that they tell me, and I'm paying careful attention, that they're losing the war against these members. And what you see, and you could just Google it, go to Irapuato, Guanajuato. It's simple. Irapuato, and I could spell it for you, Irapuato, Guanajuato, Mexico. and Google it. Look at all the crimes that are going on. Another very important thing is that you don't want to listen to any news like CNN or whatever, because there are a whole bunch of liars. We've been keeping our eyes on those so-called news, which they just distort the information. I'm telling you, como mexicano, yo soy ciudadano mexicano. Yo nací en Mexico. I was born in Mexico. I'm not in the United States supporting everything or against Donald Trump, but we totally believe that he's doing the right thing for his country, and he's a total example of what we want to do over here in Mexico. This is the reason why we formed this group, and a lot of them have Mexican military training from La Marina, and are involved in security and have security businesses. They have other type of businesses that now their businesses are being hurt because of what's happening in our borders. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. What's we're hearing a lot of stuff on diseases and stuff. What are you seeing on that?
Absolutely. This is another important fact here. They carry all types of disease, from hepatitis to HIV to influenza, anything that you name it, they got it. When I went down there, I covered my mouth, and I told the group to cover their mouth, their nose, their nostrils, everything, because we want to be careful of what's going on. And we pretended, some of the groups, we just pretended to see what's going on to help them out. But what really troubles us is how many Americans are coming over here and taking these diseases over there. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. I'm like, look, you know what you're facing here? You know the situation? Have you ever heard of airborne pathogens? Oh, yes, but we are okay. We're in the hands of God. Everything's going to be okay. Well, you know what? That's not how God acts. Let me tell you something. You take your butt back to your country, and please be informed of what you're doing, because you're hurting our economy in Tijuana, Mexico, right now as I speak. Just by giving them money, just by feeding them, just by doing all kinds of things. Now, let me tell you something. When I saw this Honduran, and when he reached his pocket, because other Hondurans were telling him, hey, give us money, we're hungry. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars came from his pocket. And who do you think is giving them that money? Americans. How is that possible? All I can say is, you know what? First, learn who these people are, and then help them out. But it's not the way it is, I can't really believe what is happening. And these diseases that these people have are being carried by these Americans and taking them back to the United States. So how's that?
Yeah, it's not good at all. Okay, I got another question for you. You're very familiar with the open border of New Mexico. How dangerous, well, we already know how dangerous the groups are because they're armed and everything else and trained. However, how important is it that we get our border covered? And how do we stop these children that are being brought across through New Mexico on the three main trails we know of? Can you make the American people understand just how serious it is? We get more men on the border, and the reason why we need them.
Look, Johnny, when we talk about protecting our borders, we talk about protecting our borders. If your border is not, if it's like you're in your house, you have your weapons there, you're not protecting your family, then, something may happen, you're risking it of somebody breaking into your house. But if you protect your family, you train your family how to use weapons, be a good civil person, abiding law citizen. You're going to protect your house. It's the same thing with the borders. Same thing. If you don't protect your borders, which they already know that New Mexico is demilitarized, they know everything. They're not stupid. And then I could say, and then some people, let me tell you something. Before you read my mind, I could read yours, and I'm going to tell you why. You could say, wait a minute. A while ago, you were saying they were dumb. They're a third world country. They don't know nothing. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about intelligence. People who are up front of them and telling them what to do. I'm talking to you. Whoever is thinking, hey, this guy's contradicting yourself. No, I'm not contradicting myself. I'm talking about smart people, intelligence, that they're directing them. Another important thing that they do, they put women and children in front. Oh, they love doing that. They love doing that. Pregnant ladies, women, old people, whatever. They like putting them in front. And you know who else does that? You know who else does that? ISIS. All these from the Asia, from the Middle East do that, the same thing. Isn't that a coincidence? Think about it. What is happening here? We never had this problem before. We've never had this problem before. Now we're encountering a big problem here, a big, massive problem that it's starting to move slowly by slowly. When you're playing your PlayStation, when you're in your computer, listening to Facebook or whatever music, these people are moving and they're laughing at us. Oh, yeah, let them get distracted by these things. We're going to go in their country. We're going to invade them. We're going to create chaos. We're going to do all kinds of things, and it troubles me and it bothers me that I'm there looking, paying attention, talking, supporting the group, like all these groups, all these people that are helping us in the group. And little by little, we have other Mexicans protecting them. Why? Because they either belong to a church or because they belong to a party that wants them to these caravans to progress. For what reason, we don't know, but they're totally against our group. And now, like I said, we don't even have to fight the Hondurans. Now we have to fight our own Mexican citizens. But we try to do it in a very smart way. We use, we think about it. We organize ourselves. We think about what we can do to have this progress going. And not lose control of the situation. Although, let me tell you, a lot of us are starting to lose our sleep because of what's going on. And like I said before, if you want, I'll find a way. I'll let Johnny know and give them my information, and then I'll welcome you over here, and I'll take you. I personally will take you to all these places where you could see that you're not being fooled, like in the news or whatever. Other types of medias that are wrongfully informed, because sometimes people go in YouTube, they go somewhere, and they believe whatever it is. No, here I would like, if you allow me, Johnny. I have some recordings here of what is happening right now. If you allow me to play one of them, if that's okay with you.
Of course it is.
And hear how I'm in touch with my group, and you could hear some of it, but it's in Spanish. I don't know if it's okay with you.
It's okay with me because it can be translated. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Okay, you heard him saying, where are you? They're trying to locate our group so that we could get more information here. Hold on, give me a second here. Ya vamos para allá, nos estamos juntando. Now, if you hear that, he's saying, we're heading our way. We're gathering ourselves. We're going over there. That's what he's saying. I'll play it again. Ya vamos para allá, nos estamos juntando. Okay, so this is a fact. This is true evidence. You know, I think Johnny, we've been in touch before, and I've submitted direct evidence to you, and then all of a sudden, 2 days, 3 days later, you hear it in the news. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. Now, I could go ahead and keep playing more and more, but I just hope that all your listeners here can just think a little bit about what's going on. You know, we are facing a monster. You know, and let me tell you about what happened in Pearl Harbor. You know, it was a sleeping.
Explain.
They've already made different pacts, and it's something that the United States should be worried about, because what's going to happen here is the collapse of the economy in Mexico and in the United States and in Canada as well. As long as if that happens, guess what? Then other countries are taking over. And you could say goodbye to having a good McDonald's meal and all that, because it ain't going to happen anymore. We're going to be lacking of a lot of food, a lot of everything. If the American people don't stand up and unite, you know, so this is exactly what's happening in Mexico. We were never against each other. Now look, we're against each other. And I make a call, like this gentleman said in the protest, abre tus ojos, Mexico. Open your eyes, the United States. Open your eyes and look what's going on. If you're enjoying a good time with your family, which I wish you can, and you will still do for the long coming years, don't think it's going to happen like that. Soon you're going to be facing the situation that we're facing over here in Mexico. And little by little it's deteriorating our families, our heart, our country, our friends, our everything. And what's really sad about it, and I'll point it out again, and I want to talk to all these Christians and Catholics, and most of them have those religions. It's okay to help, but help the right way. There's a lot of homeless in the United States. Help them first. There's a lot of veterans that they serve their country, and they're in the streets, and Mr. Trump's trying to do something. We see that. We're not stupid. Don't you think? Mexico has been conquered by the PRI, Partido Revolución Institucional, for years and decades and decades. It's a corrupted country. With this new president here on board, I hope things would do change. I see that López Obrador thinks a lot like Trump, but we just don't understand why is he letting these people in, these caravans. I just hope that the moment that these 25,000 caravan members step into the south of Mexico, the Mexican military does something about it, because I don't know if the United States could get involved there. Which I don't think so. But it's we pray to God that we could handle this situation, and then all these people, your listeners in Mexico and in the United States, can open their eyes and say, hey, look, I think there's a problem.
Okay.
It's like when before Mr. Trump was president, we had chaos in the United States, and Mexico as well, because believe it or not, it's a true fact. Mexico depends a lot in the United States. I have family members over here in Mexico, close to the border, and they're getting ready to go bankrupt because we don't have any tourists.
Well, that's not good. Okay, Nuclear Warrior has a question for you. Go ahead, Nuclear Warrior.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We've been getting reports of firefights breaking out all along the border, from Brownsville all the way up to El Paso and across the rest of the border towards California. Do you know this to be factual, and can you tell us who is providing the firefight on the Mexican side, and is it reaching into the United States? We've been kind of anticipating this all these months, that we're going to end up with a battle at the border. and we'd kind of like to know if it's happening right now, if they're just feeling out for the weak spots in the border by starting little skirmishes here and there, or what. But and also, do you know how many UN people are embedded in these caravans?
Look, like I said before, that lady. If you remember what I said about that lady, I have one of my groups tracking her, and she does belong to one of these United Nations members. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now. What you just mentioned, it's correct. Everything all that firefight that's happening is because some of them already made it through. And this is a taste of what we're going through. This is the beginning. You should thank God that you have a strong military for right now. Because these people, like I said, this is an invisible ghost right here. And it has power. And once it reaches your border, once it reaches in the United States, there's going to be trouble. That's all I can say. But all that firefight and everything. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of them already made it through the United States. Okay, a lot of them. Okay, and this is because these I don't know, Democratic parties or whatever, they're always fighting against the right. So it's the left fighting against the right fighting against the left, and they're being divided. So what if exactly it's happening? Well, guess what? Well, then the person that's trying to create chaos, slowly by slowly, while you're fighting, I'm going to breaking my way through it, and I'm going to create chaos. Slowly by slowly, like I said, this is an intelligence, that are guiding these people. And let me mention another thing here. When I was, I know I didn't want to mention anything about Russia, but this is very important here. When I was in the against the Caravan and the protest, we protested all the way to the camp, to the refugee camp where they're at. Where the government of Mexico is giving them asylum there, and we were protesting, and the Mexican federales were protecting them, and I was up front, and I was talking to one of the personnel there of the. It seemed like a high-ranked military in the Mexican side. And I said, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so forth and so forth. I know you guys are protecting these people here, but don't you think, what is it that we can do or to help? Or because honestly, what they're doing is they're this is an invasion. They're coming here to invade us. This doesn't look good." And you know what he told me? He says, "Look, if it was up to me, I'd kick their butts back to their country, but I can't do anything." We were just having a nice, decent conversation because, he saw that we belong to that group that's against the Caravan, and he was against it too. It's just that he's being directed on what to do, or he loses his job. But like I'm saying, little by little, they're breaking into the United States, while they're arguing over there, fighting against no, we don't want the wall, yeah, let's put the wall and this and that. Little by little, they're breaking in. Now, what really troubles me is this. How many years does President Trump have in office? I think he has like 2 more years, right, to go.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, listen to this. Who is the next president if it's not Donald Trump, which I hope Donald Trump can be reelected, but I don't know if he has the strength, because he's been beaten up pretty bad there, but he's a strong man, and I pray to God that he keeps in office. But let me ask you, who is the next president that may come in? You better pray for that, because if he's a president that does not support the wall, that does not support the contrary of what Donald Trump is doing, then you know what? Enjoy these 2 years or whatever that you're going to have, do whatever it is. Go with your family because it won't last that long. That's all I can say.
Okay, I got a question. Okay, you've seen the wall. You've been on the wall. How effective is the wall that you've seen that they've got built?
No, not very effective. You know what? I have a video here of a man, of some Hondurans climbing that wall like militaries. Oh, they're muscle build. These guys, they take their shirts off and they climb those walls like nothing. But you know why? Because that wall is not designed to stop them. You know, if you're going to build a wall, you want to make sure that that wall is going to stop it, you know. Now, as far as I'm concerned, in the Tijuana border, they've already started building a wall. But you know what? The CBP is trying to protect the borders there. But all I can say is when the last protest, no, what do you call it? The Caravan had they say it was a peaceful march, which hell broke loose, you know, and they were running everywhere, and this happened back in November or December, I don't know, the early of the month of December, and they tried to get into the United States, but the United States was prepared. You know, they have these bar lines there, and it did help. And they had a lot of military personnel there, which it did help. But how long can it be like this? You know, these people. This is important. Let me tell you this. Okay, you have these bar lines. You have the CBP. You have whatever. You know, you have everything. Okay. How is that going to stop these people if these people are being fed? They have plenty of time. They could be here in Mexico 10 years, 20 years. How much money do you think that's going to cost the United States? Billions of dollars. So why not put an effective law, very effective, and stop them from going into the United States, and I urge Lopez Obrador to do the same thing. Put an effective wall in the South, just like it is in the North. Now, I strongly believe that Mr. Donald Trump was saying, you know what, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Mexico's not going to pay for the wall. But it'll be nice if the people of the United States can support Mr. Trump and say, you know, we need that wall. But help Mexico too. Put that wall in the South. Because if the wall's not put in the south of Mexico too, what's going to happen? All these people are going to keep coming to our borders. You know, and let me tell you something. In Tijuana, Mexico, there's a lot of Americans living over here. A lot. They retire. They come and live in Playas, Ensenada. All these nice places, well, little by little, they're starting to go back to the United States. But it won't be long till after the United States, they probably want to find another place in the world to go live, because little by little, this monster's coming into Mexico and the United States.
Right. Okay. Troy, I'm going to ask you if, because we got some other things I want to cover also, but I want you to stay on the line. I'd like for you to come back on our show sometime next week and give us more updates, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I truly don't mind, but I gotta be very careful of what I say too. You know, I just can't go on and say everything. But what I do want to say is, you know, again, open your eyes, open your ears. Listen and see what's going on. You know, I'm happy to give all the information that I can. I'm happy to let you know I'm putting my life here. I want you to understand that.
Oh, I know that.
A todos los mexicanos viviendo en Estados Unidos, and all the Mexicans living in the United States que no aprecian al presidente, él está haciendo su trabajo, that don't appreciate the president, that he's just doing his job. And if you're a Mexican American, si es mexicano americano, apóyense, ayuden a su país, help your country, because if you're not part of Mexico anymore and you're part of the United States, then help the country, because the United States is giving you the opportunity to live, learn, and do better, live a better life. Over here in Mexico, we've been under Pharaoh's demand, because kind of like that, for years and years, Pharaoh has been controlling the Israelis, and it's been like this, and then all of a sudden, we have Moses coming here, whatever, I don't know who he is, that delivered them. Well, now we got Obrador here, and things are a lot better now, but for how long,
Right.
Why is it that they're letting these people in without, okay, another thing, they're letting these people in, and they're not even investigating who these people are, and they're giving fake IDs. Oh, another very important thing, the Mexican immigration is giving them proper ID cards. Okay, we don't even know if that's their name. There's this person, I talked to him, and I said, hey, ¿cómo te llamas? What's your name? Oh, Isidro Marquez. Oh, really? Okay. Then later on, I went walking around the camp and everything, and then he was telling other people another different name.
Wow.
Like I said, if you over there think that I'm, I don't know, crazy, that you think that I'm really just thinking more, come down here. I'll walk you around, see how warm, so that you could feel that warm welcome here. You would want to go back to your country like as ASAP. You wouldn't want to know anything about this place, and that's the people that I'm talking to.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, Troy, I really appreciate you coming on tonight, my friend. And like I said, I'd like to have you back on. And ladies and gentlemen, this man that has been talking to you is actually a Mexican American. He has dual citizenship. He has family in Mexico. He was born and raised in Mexico, but he's legal. And we don't have no problem with people coming across legal. But it's the ones that are coming illegal and bringing war with them, bringing disease with them, bringing MS-13 with them, coming with weapons. They're not coming here to shake your hand and give you a kiss and say, hey, I want to come to America. They're bringing their flags, and they're burning the American flag. Now, that is not a friend, and I've said that before. But right now we are working also on getting people to the border, and we are asking for donations. We're asking for help. You can donate if you would please to the United Constitutional Patriots Facebook page. All you got to do is Google it. We have PayPal on it. We need supplies. We've got a list of supplies that are needed for the men on the border that are protecting our border and putting their life on the line, like this man that we're talking to, Troy. He's putting his life on the line every day. And he is a part of the United Constitutional Patriots. He's one of our officers. And he's already assured me if shit hits the fan down here, he does have a rather large force that he will help us with, come down and help us with on the American side, which he can do, because he's an American citizen as well as a Mexican citizen. Very, very good information. Another thing, if you wanted to donate gas cards, Walmart cards, supplies, I'll let Nuclear Warrior cover that here in a little bit. But if you want to be boots on the ground and help stop this invasion, please, we're putting out a call to arms on this. We need men on the border. We need help. And if you're interested, call me at 505-334-2492, and we will give you instructions of who to report to and what to do if you want to be to help stop this invasion from coming across the border, because we have the only open border in the United States. Another thing, if you want to donate supplies, you can donate them through the United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton, or Mark Cheney, Cheney, at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico 87415. That's the two places where you can make donations. And if you want to be boots on the ground and really help, this would help tremendously because we need help. The funds go to the men on the border to help them. They are living in tents. They're not staying in motels and eating in restaurants. We need food, dry goods supplies and stuff like that, which I'm asking you folks to help us with, because these people are not being paid to be on the border. They are veterans. They are not only just veterans, but some of them are some of them are civilians. We need medical people. We need all the help we can get. Donations help a whole bunch because they can buy what they need. That's what that money is for. We have a couple of messages here from Mike Baseman. He says, I am retired Army, but I'm very sick. But if I was in good health, I would give them some military kind of whip ass. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, brother. And thank you for your service. Mary Murray says, thank you, Troy, for the information. I will be praying for you and your crew. Tell you what, Troy, and I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine. I'm saying this because it's a fact. He is a patriot. He was going to be a police officer. He went to the police academy, graduated, and circumstances kept him from being able to be the police officer. So he has become a patriot, and that's where his heart is at, not just for our country, but for his country too, which his country is both of our countries. Anybody have any questions for him? Feel free to ask. I have no problem with that. And they will get the word over here to me. War Dog Mike says, thanks, Troy, for your information. Welcome aboard, sir. That was great. Well, and I say thank you also from the bottom of my heart. The phone number is 505-334-2492. That's 505-334-2492. I can't take calls tonight because we have Troy on the line. However, Nuclear Warrior, if you want to bring them up on some of the things we could need, and if you have anything you need to say, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Commander, and good evening again to all the listeners, and thank you, Troy, for your service for our group. A lot of good information, very much appreciated. Things for volunteers that wanted to go to the border, be boots on the ground. Of course, the weather's changeable. It has been getting fairly chilly down there, so I used to recommend a sleeping bag good to 25 degrees. I think now I'm going to, this time of the year, make it, capable of going down to about 10 degrees, just to be safe. Tarps, ground sheets, and tent footprints, put the barrier between the cold, hard ground and your sleeping bag. Tent poles and pegs, hammers and mallets, torches, headlamp type with the band that goes around your head. Liquid fuel type lanterns work well too. Batteries for the battery powered lanterns. Fuel for the fuel lanterns if you can get it shipped to us. Probably in that case, I'd recommend maybe donating cash or cards for Walmart, what have you. So that stuff can be procured locally, because shipping those items really kind of irks the shippers, especially the U.S. Post Office. Air mattresses or sleeping pads between the sleeping bag and the cold ground again. Toilet paper, paper towels, biodegradable soap, wet wipes, washcloths, towels, toothbrush, toothpaste, just normal stuff that you would use on a daily basis. That has to continue while you're on the border in the service of your country. Gloves, especially like a face mask, because the cartels and the people on the other side of the border are using facial recognition software. So this is to protect you and your family from being facially recognized and have dire things happen. waterproof matches, lighters, stuff to ignite like campfires with, or camp stoves, etc. Kitchen utensils, pots, pans, bottle openers, can openers, eating utensils, paper plates or bowls, for bandages and that kind of stuff for medical, adhesive tape, ACE bandages, wound closure strips, tweezers, cotton swabs, antiseptic wipes, bee sting kits, probably not this time of the year, snake bite kits, probably not this time of the year until it warms up a little bit more, latex gloves, cold packs, burn creams, especially if the sun decides to come back out for any length of time again, bottled water, freeze-dried foods, canned foods, things of that nature that can be shipped, and they can use bottled water for putting the freeze-dried foods and heat them up, have a good hot meal. As far as using the bottled water for hygiene and stuff, antiseptic wipes and the wet wipes and stuff that come in the plastic canister would work just as well, and it eases the burden not having to truck this water around. So just a few odds and ends of things there, folks. But we're down to the wire here. I'm putting out a call to all veterans that are able to support our effort to keep the cartel and the bad guys out of the country. It's really getting that bad. We talked about the firefights that are popping up along the border. They're doing that deliberately, probing for the weak spots in order to gain an easier entry. Let's make it as difficult as possible for them to get over the border. If they want to come legally, they have to go through a port of entry. Do it the right way. Other than that, it looks to me like it's an armed invasion, especially if they're flying their country's flag and burning ours in the process. I don't know how much more plain to make this, folks. We're down to the wire. We need to get bodies down on the border, and we need people that are able to protect themselves and take control of the situation, arrest these guys as they come across, and turn them over to the authorities. So, if you can't help with some of these items, shipping them down there, you can make donations to the PayPal account. I believe that the commander has given that information over the waves here tonight. He may do it again. It's also on the United Constitutional Patriots Facebook page, and every dollar helps. So if you can't afford to send a lot of money, even if you can just send $1 or $2, it all adds up, and it goes straight to the border to help the guys and ladies. Not a penny of it goes to maintaining any kind of compensation for us doing the work. A few odds and ends come out to deal with stuff like internet access so that we can continue to put the radio show on, continue to take your input over the Facebook page, things of that nature. Does not go towards anything else except the operation of the United Constitutional Patriots and the boots and eyes and ears on the ground that are helping to make us get the border under control. So, with that, I'd like to add also that Troy mentioned that they have been a few folks getting through the border. And once they get inside the country, they disperse amongst the population, and they're hard as hell to find. They're trained for this kind of stuff. So my call to you citizens is be vigilant of your surroundings. If something doesn't look right, call the authorities. If something doesn't look right, sound right, smell right, your gut feeling is telling you something's wrong, call the authorities. Don't try to tackle it yourself, because it could turn out to be a disaster. Now, we don't know how many are interior, but we have seen a lot of activity with Muslim actions and activities and movements in the country, especially up towards the northern border. So just things to keep an eye on. We don't know if there are, I'm sure there probably are some UN folks inside the country, and they're probably just waiting for the go-ahead once that they can distract us to the borders to start flanking us from the backside. Well, we're going to try to get people to help us out with protecting the backside of the folks that are at the border as well. So if you can help out, contact the commander, and he'll get you briefed on what you need to do to come and join us. The party's getting started, folks, and this is the real deal. We're fighting for the security of our country. Keep that in mind. If they get through us, and if they get through those that follow us, it's going to be hell to pay for the citizenship of the country. I think that's it for now, Commander. I'm going to turn it back to you for the comments from the rest of the room here.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. And remember this, folks, if they get through us, they can get to you. And we don't want that to happen. That's what we're trying to stop. Now, we got Mr. Cook, Cummings Cook. Welcome, sir, and thank you for your service. You're 60 years old. You know what? I'm 69. Age has nothing to do with it. If you want to help, give me a call at 505-334-2492, and I'll be able to tell you what what you can do. And yes, you're allowed to carry. It's open carry in the state of New Mexico. Also, too, you're allowed to have your weapons of your choice. You will be not. You aren't stopped, questioned, or anything else if you're carrying. And will there be military relief when President Trump declares national emergency? Once he declares national emergency, as far as my knowledge, yes, we will be able to get military help. But until we have a governor that is willing to let the National Guard down there, he's fighting our governor here, even our new governor. She doesn't want border walls, and she thinks that people should be able to just walk into our country. So I hope that answers your question there. Again, if you want to donate and help us with funding, which this money goes to the men, they can buy what they need with it, and it helps them with whatever they need on the border. We have a military place called a bunker in New Mexico here, in the town where I'm living in, where you can get all the military equipment you need if you don't have it. But you can donate to the United Constitutional Patriots on the PayPal. Just look United Constitutional Patriots Facebook. You can Google it; it'll pop up. Or if you want to send things to help the men in the field, like tents, ground sheets, the stuff that Nuclear Warrior covered, you can send them to United Constitutional Patriots or in care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney, at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. If you want to be boots on the ground, if you want to help, if you want to be a part of this, help stop the child trafficking, the drug dealers from coming across, and the people coming to invade our country, you can call me at 505-334-2492. I will be happy to tell you, we'll give you the information you need, and we'll work with you. There's no problem there. Once you are on the border, if you need something, as long as we have the funding coming in, as long as we have the funds, we will make sure you have what you have. The people that are living on the border, that live along the border, they are willing to help us and are helping us, doing everything from cooking for the men to supplying them with food, helping them wash their clothes, whatever. They're there. But we have to be there for them too, because we're there till the wall gets up. We have to have people on the border to protect them. They have told me, several of them that I've talked to, 5 years ago, they'd walk outside and they didn't have to worry about anything. Now, when they walk outside, they have a weapon with them, or they have a weapon on their side. When they're sitting watching TV at night, they have a weapon sitting on their TV stands or wherever it is they're sitting. They're scared on the border. This is America. You're not supposed to be scared. This is supposed to be a free country. And this is why we're asking for the help we're asking for, not just to protect our borders, but protect the American people. For those of you that want to know, we are registered as a humanitarian group. We are registered with the federal government. We have our federal ID number. We also have our state. We are also licensed with the state of New Mexico and San Juan County. We don't just do this when we're not doing this. Normally, we're helping people to in the flooding. We send we're first boots on the ground to help when there's disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, fires, whatever is needed. And by the way, I do want to thank Brian. He's another patriot. He just donated 2 more boats for that purpose. We have 3 boats that we will be using this spring when the hurricanes and tornadoes and everything else start coming in, where we can do rescue services and work with Occasion Navy again if necessary, or wherever we're needed. That's what we do. We are there for the American people to protect their constitutional rights, their Bill of Rights, and make sure you're safe. Again, the phone number is 505-334-2492. If you have any questions, call me. I don't care what time it is. Call me and I will give you any information I can. I'm trying my hardest to make people understand. And Troy, you did a great job tonight because you put it right on the line the way that I've been trying to explain to them. The danger of these people coming into our country. And I'm sorry for what they're doing to your country. And if we can do more to help, we'll do it. With that, we do have some cues tonight. If anybody got any more questions before we go to the cues, anybody have more questions for Troy? Okay, Chuck, do you want to go ahead and read your cues that you have that have come in? You'll find these very interesting, folks. People have been wanting to know who's in Gitmo, who's been doing what, and how it's been going. So if you can, if you want to know what's going on, here's the cues here. By the way, our phone number again, somebody asked again, is 505-334-2492. And please spread this everywhere. Share this. Get the word out. We're down to brass tacks now. They are headed for New Mexico, and we need to be able to stop them. Once they are close enough to us, I know that the government will have no choice but to have the military there to back us. But in the meantime, I do know if we're fired on, fire back. We've been having firefights on the border. We had one on the New Mexico border 2 days ago. We've got the video of it in our war room or our radio room. This is going on all up and down the border now. It needs to be, we need the boots on the ground. It's no longer of a threat. There are actual firefights now that the news media is not covering, and they're not going to cover it. They want everybody to think that these people are all peaceful people. So, Chuck, you're ready to do your cues, reports?
Yes, we do have some cues tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I trust I'm being heard well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm being heard. Okay, good. Yes, we do have a few cues. And by the way, before I start that, and I'm going to try to cover these pretty quickly. And these will be the cues for January the 6th and January the 7th. There's not many of them. We can cover them in their entirety. But to the gentleman on our live stream tonight that wanted to know if 60 was too old, well, we have several people on our executive staff, higher ranking officers, that are in their 60s. The commander said he's 69. We have another gentleman, nuclear warrior, who talks to you quite often. He's about 65. I myself am 60. Okay, I'm 60 myself, and a major general with the United Constitutional Patriots. No, I guess 60 is not too old to help. So apparently not, because here we are. So anyway, cue number 2653 is where we're going to be starting tonight, and it starts off with RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. A lot of talk about Ruth Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Twitter and elsewhere. Okay, because apparently she failed to show up for oral arguments for the first time in her 25-year career, and you'll hear the Q posted on that here after a bit. So, RBG, why was she selected? Who appointed her? Remember her history. Reference 230-page book called Sex Bias in the U.S. Code, published in 1977 by U.S. Rights. Highlights. Called for the sex integration of prisons and reformatories so that conditions of imprisonment housing could be equal. She explained, if the grand design of such institutions is to prepare inmates to return to the community as persons equipped to benefit from and contribute to civil society, then the perpetuation of single sex institutions should be rejected. Called for the sex integration of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts because they perpetuate stereotyped sex roles. Insisted on sex integrating college fraternity and sorority chapters and replacing them with college social societies. All right, that was on page 169. Okay, cast constitutional doubt on the legality of Mother's Day and Father's Day as separate holidays. Called for reducing the consent for sexual acts to people who are less than 12 years old. Yeah, that's right, folks. She does have something to do with pedophilia. All coming out, okay? Asserted that laws against bigamists, persons cohabitating with more than one woman, and women cohabitating with a bigamist are unconstitutional. Objected to laws against prostitution because prostitution, as a consensual act between adults, is arguably within the zone of privacy and protected by recent constitutional decisions. Ginsburg wrote the Mann Act, which punishes those who engage in interstate sex traffic of women and girls. Is offensive. Such acts should be considered within the zone, or wrote that the Mann Act, I should say, which punishes those who engage in interstate sex traffic of women and girls, is offensive. Such acts should be considered within the zone of privacy. Demanded that we formally reject, draft, or combat exemptions for women, stating women must be subject to the draft as men are. But, she added, the need for affirmative action for transition measures is particularly strong in the uniformed services. An indefatigable censor, Ginsburg listed hundreds of sexist words that must be eliminated from all statutes. Among the words she found offensive were man, woman, man-made, mankind, husband, wife, mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter, serviceman, longshoreman, postmaster, watchman, seamanship, and to man a vessel. She finds those words offensive, folks. Wanted he, she, him, her, his, and hers to be dropped down the memory hole. They must be replaced by he, she, him, her, him, and hers, his. And federal state statutes must be made or must use the bad grammar of plural constructions to avoid third person singular pronouns. Condemned the Supreme Court's ruling in Harris versus McCrae and claimed that taxpayer funded abortions are constitutional rights. Okay, and it gives a link to what we just read, and it says, who are the doctors currently treating RBG? What other former current senior political heads are they affiliated with? What off-market drugs are being provided to Ruth Bader Ginsburg in order to sustain minimum daily function? What is the real diagnosis of Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Who is managing her care? Who is really managing her care? The clock is ticking. Panic in D.C. Q. Okay, 2654. All right, there is an Axios.com article. Trump acting cabinet heads more flexibility. Okay, it says Scaramucci model. That's their hire to get rid of some necessary persons to get rid of. And then, okay, public opinion, optics do not matter. Temporaries can be dangerous to those targeted. Q. Okay, 2655. How many, let's see, how many authentic FISA umbrella surveys warrants targeting those who legally targeted, and then you got an empty kill box, are currently active? Upstream collection can be revealing. When you no longer control the levers of power, okay, Five Eyes, okay, allies buckle and cooperate in order to maintain their future. Germany losing stranglehold on EU. The future will not repeat the past. The clock is ticking. Q. Okay. Then Q2656 is a Twitter status from President Trump. I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen in the next few days. And Q says, Anon's new question mark. Q. Okay. Then we have Q2657. When will the public discover that Ted Cruz was also illegally surveyed uh, pre-POTUS Republican nomination? CA, that would be Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, Central Intelligence, illegal survey, members of Congress, CIA, illegal survey, members of press, CIA, illegal survey, Senate Intel Committee. A couple of links to that, and it says who ordered the survey, what justification was provided to uh, indicate survey of elected officials. Survey fall under scope of FISA warrant or international or internal to department or outsourced to Five Eyes. Reality check, friend or foe. We all spy on each other. Should we be spying on ourselves? Should we be asking ourselves to spy on ourselves in order to avoid U.S. law? Was Five Eye established and designed by the Intelcom as a back channel? It's surveillance. Okay, not surveillance is the word. Surveillance apparatus to avoid domestic laws, triggers, and congressional Senate oversight. What key logs exist to monitor Five Eyes intel collection? What ability do former government officials have regarding ability to access C-level Five Eye offshore data? How did Hillary Rodham Clinton gain access to the highest classified SAPs or special something programs, access programs, closed systems access, and able to transfer remote and home server? Q above should scare every single American. How did China locate primary CIA assets within China? 187 question mark. Money buys power, no punishment. Brennan by Hussein administration regarding surveillance of Senate, etc. Logical thinking. Why? State Department declines to pursue. Fake news media limits exposure to public. When did at Snowden breach NSA and publicly release cripple intel gathering ability to NSA? NSA targeted. Where did Snowden work prior to NSA contractor accept? What senior level government CIA official recognized at Snowden or recommended Snowden for NSA contractor off TAR position? Post public release of classified NSA Pro Uranium 1. Where is Snowden today? What country was involved in Uranium 1? If real target country was involved in uranium, what country was involved in Uranium 1? If real target country was Venezuela or Ecuador, why didn't at Snowden have direct flight from Hong Kong to these locations? How many direct flights run daily from Hong Kong to V&E if Venezuela and Ecuador? If at Snowden was CIA, NSA, would he not understand simple logic? Going public prior to end destination safety would limit active passport travelability due to block deregulation. Why wouldn't at Snowden publicly release info after he already was safely at final destination? Why then would at Snowden route through Russia? Was Russia final destination? Was Russia true destination? Destination. Could at Snowden be seen releasing money classified programs intel from inside of Russia? What role did Brennan play in the Snowden leaks regarding NSA? Was Brennan's background regarding Saudi What was Brennan's background regarding Saudi Arabia? Does CIA hold blackmail on political leaders? Does CIA protect those who protect them? Why are ex-CIA contractors running for office? How many ex-CIA contractors are currently in office? Hello, Adam Schiff. Yeah. Once an agent, always an agent. Q. Okay, then Q2658. We ain't got but just a few more folks. Q2658. Remember when these fake news media, fake plus fake Hollywood, pushed mass fear at POTUS that POTUS would start World War III regarding North Korea. POTUS, peace on the North Korean peninsula, no further missile test or uranium enrichment. New narrative created. Refusal to provide coverage of success. Remember when these and fake news media plus fake pushed the stock market collapse that POTUS was elected. POTUS economy plus policies, largest gains in recorded markets history. New narrative created. Refusal to provide coverage of successes. Use Fed to increase rates to counter growth and project POTUS blame. Remember when these and the fake news media plus fake would push complete economic collapse if POTUS was elected. POTUS E plus policies, lowest unemployment records in history, record jobs, GDP growth. New narrative created. Refusal to provide coverage for successes. Deploy use of racism, sexism, and every other ism to counter potential black, Hispanic, popular support. Why do Democrats and fake news media plus fake would continually push the impeach narrative if impeachment requires 2/3 Senate vote to enact? Odds of that, pretty nil. Do they push this fake narrative to project a supportable with evidence wrongdoing to their base confirmation bias? Accusations never supported by facts. Groupthink. The list goes on and on. Panic in D.C. Why? What was lost? Power of the purse. Commander in Chief of the United States military. Power to replace senior officials within crucial government departments. Who can then replace senior, mid, and low positions? Trickle down replacement. Power to appoint Supreme Court justices. What if Hillary Rodham Clinton won and appointed 2+ crooked Supreme Court justices? The last resort. Power to directly undo Hussein previous EOs, which harmed greatly limited the U.S. in many vital and necessary ways. Yes, he's undoing all of Hussein's EOs. Power to rebuild the United States military back to global superpower. China payoffs, bribe failure. power to enact laws by EO to combat and protect our people, power to shift foreign policy and thereby reducing our enemies' ability to prosper and someday reign, Iran deal, Paris Accord, China trade, Syria, power to declass crucial documents to provide the public with the truth, transparency that's coming, power to give back power to the people as intended by our founders, leader of the free world, Q. Well, we've gotten through the longest one, folks. The rest of them are going to be quite a bit shorter. Okay, Q2659, a RealClearPolitics.com article. Dershowitz, that's one of the president's attorney's secret emails about undersex allegations will put prominent people in handcuffs. Get in line, Q. Q2660, a Twitter.com status from Maggie Haberman. There is no smoking on this train. If you're found smoking, we will assume you're on fire and take appropriate action, says the Amtrak conductor. Okay? And it says, handler, conductor, smoking can be bad for your health. Read warning label. Deboard train and walk away. Once in the tunnel, there is no going back. Q. Okay, 2661. Okay, there's some more Twitter statuses, but we won't, you have to go to Q page to read those. And it says, a stone sits idle while the world around it evolves. Evolution, depending on stage, can be deadly. We can talk through code or we can act through transparency. The choice is yours. However, the clock is ticking, and at a select point in time, that option will be expired. Regular service appointments should be made in order to maintain functionality. Q. 2662. Okay, a FoxNews.com opinion piece on DeGenova Cardinal James Comey, the man who destroyed the FBI. And Q says treachery revealed by Comey, Clapper, and Brennan requires accountability. That can only happen through a grand jury, federal grand jury investigation headed by John W. Hoover, the U.S. Attorney in Utah, who has been appointed to investigate the FISA criminality by the Obama FBI, actually by the president's FBI and DOJ. Q. Well, no, it's criminality by the Obama FBI and DOJ. Excuse me. Q. Okay, now we have today's. Just a few came in today, really quick. 2663 is a sun.com.uk article. CIA, MK Ultra, mind control drugs, hypnosis, electronic documents, program development ongoing under offshore, not domestic tangent agency, covert funding, animals, humans, 1988, 71% average success rate, targeted mental criteria designated as, and you got an empty kill box, mental institutions and therapists, program specialists, cocktail regimen, 4 times daily brain intercept administered by, again, MPQ box, hint, and it gives a ncats.nih.gov pubs features brain signals action. That's a link to that. WIA military personnel, wounded in action military personnel, targets of the program, PTSD, clandestine, black ops, zero affiliation, non-stick, something out of a movie, fiction. The hole is deep. Q. Okay. 2664 were 3 Twitter statuses by President Trump, and it says, with all the success of our country, all of the success that our country is having, including the just released job numbers, which are off the charts, the fake news and totally dishonest media concerning me and my presidency has never been worse. Many have become crazed lunatics who have given up on the truth. The fake news will knowingly lie and demean in order to make the tremendous success of the Trump administration and me look as bad as possible. They use non existent sources and write stories that are total fiction. Our country is doing so well, yet this is a sad day in America. The fake news media in our country is the real opposition party. It is truly the enemy of the people. We must bring honesty back to journalism and reporting. Compare and contrast. Ring a bell? Think drop yesterday. New narrative created. Refusal to provide coverage of successes. Why is this important? Sometimes making a connection leads to uncovering. Q. 2665. He repeated a couple of Q posts, one from January 6th. Well, one from January 6th. That was the one we just read a while ago, Q2658. And the three Twitters by President Trump we just read. And then he says, read the pics related together, no mirroring. Okay, answer you for Q, okay? And Q says, the reason why we are here, however, this is incomplete and missing the third tweet, Q. Okay. All right, two more. Q2666. Okay, there's a Bing.com on Ruth Bader Ginsburg again. Okay, and she missed oral arguments before the court for the first time in 25 years. Okay, what was going on there? And Q says, imagine that. What a coincidence. And then Q2667, and Anon posted and said, Ginsburg missing Supreme Court arguments for first time. And it's got the article there. The Supreme Court says Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is missing arguments for the first time in more than 25 years as she recuperates from cancer surgery last month. Court spokesman Kathy Arberg said Monday the 85-year-old Ginsburg is continuing to recuperate and work from home after doctors removed two cancerous growths from her left lung December 21st. And the non said, good morning, Q. And Q said, for the first time in more than 25 years, morning, Patriot, Q. So, there are the Qs for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Commander.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, there's rumors. We don't have we haven't got total proof of it yet. We're waiting. Although we have no reason not to believe this, but we have heard that Hillary and Bill and Obama and a bunch of others we've been told are in Gitmo. We have no verification of it, but no reason not to believe it because it came from very high places. And as soon as we have the verification, we will give every name that we have been told, which I know it'll have everybody doing the happy dance. I know I'm proud of what Trump has been doing. I'm proud of I'm proud of my crew here, and I'm very proud of my patriots that are putting their lives on the line on the borders. Not just our group, but every patriot group across the United States in the military. Now, again, I'm going to give you, if you want to donate, which we drastically need the donations right now for our men on the border. If you can see it, I don't care if it's just $1. Anything helps. Could you please donate to the United Constitutional Patriot Facebook? You can Google it. It'll show up. We have a PayPal account on there. And we also have other things we have for our boots on the ground. If you want to be a member and go down and help, we help the Border Patrol, the State Patrol, and the forest rangers that are down there. I know that, these guys need your help. Like I said, they're living in tents. and it's not easy for them, but they're willing to give their life and be away from their families and not be paid for it, to keep you free, me free, everybody free. You can donate anything, supplies, anything that you can help with. If you need a total list of supplies, we do have it posted in our United Constitutional Patriot group page on Facebook. You can mail it to John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney, in care of United Constitutional Patriot Group at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. You can also call me if you need information, where to send something, or how you can help. You can call me at any time at 505-334-2492. You're more than welcome. And what I'm going to do is I want to thank all of our listeners tonight. She-Wolf said, let the listeners know, please, Johnny. Okay, what are you referring to on that, She-Wolf?
On our live feed, Matthew Wall had stated on YouTube that said Jeff Sessions been indicted. Hope it is not fake news, right? The hole is deep.
Okay, to my knowledge, that is fake news. Jeff Sessions, from what we understand, is with some other people with a military tribunal. We could be mistaken, but I will double check that. But this is what our information has told us to this point. So don't take that to the bank and cash it, because we don't know, Matthew. Matt, you're a good friend of mine. I want to give a shout out to you. You've given donations to us. You're a great patriot, and I know you're waiting to come down here. And we appreciate you, brother, and thank you for listening and tuning in tonight. This is to all my friends down in Louisiana, the police departments, everybody. And one of the things I want to say before I have Chuck close with closing prayer tonight, I want to everybody to keep President Trump in his prayers. Please keep him in your prayers. He has one hell of a job to do, and he's doing it. And we've had several attempts on his life this last week. We had 3 Marines were killed. 50 Marines who weren't Marines, if that makes sense, were arrested. The fact, real quick, well, he's already got, nuclear warrior, you're there. Do you want to fill him in on what that information was on those fake Marines that were arrested?
Certainly, Commander. I'll try to repeat it as I recall it. The 50 Marines that were apprehended were part of a purchased outfit that set about the task of trying to divert $5 trillion from the U.S. Treasury in an attempt to crash the global economy. The folks at the Treasury Department, the boys that watch all the transactions in and out of the Federal Reserve Bank, etc., thought something was kind of off kilter, did some digging, and saw this thing in the progress, brought the firewalls up and blocked the attempt, and it messed up the terminals of the folks trying to crash the Treasury, confounded them long enough that the Treasury agents, Secret Service, and a few other organizations were able to catch them in the act, round them up, and on the president's order, send them directly down to Guantanamo Bay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mark Hill, you heard that Ruth has passed away. There's a high possibility that she was executed through the military tribunal. We've seen things on it. We haven't got total verification of it, but at this point, we have no reason to believe that this is not true information. But we try to give everybody the true information we know that is actual factual. But I would say on the probability case, you're probably looking about 99% yes, it is true. So I hope that helps. She was, from the reports we had, it had to do with child, I guess, child sex trafficking and other things. So I hope that helps you. So with that, if we have any more questions, no, War Dog, we have reason to believe she's not. We have other stuff. But with that, Chuck, do you want to close our program tonight? And then I'll give my closing comments. Do you want to close with prayer, please?
Yes, sir. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now, and we thank you, Lord, for this another opportunity that we've had to come here and do this great work that you've given to us to do. The defense of our nation, our freedom. We thank you, Lord, and the opportunity to bring all this great information that we've had to bring tonight to our listeners. Had a pretty good crowd over there tonight. We thank you for them. Thank you for each and every one of them. And we thank you for this team right here. We also thank you for this president who's working so hard for this country, for the American people. We ask you to bless him and his family and keep your hand of protection upon him. Let your blood of protection be upon him and your angels be encamped around about him, stand watch over him. We ask, Lord, now to continue with us throughout this night and into the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and direct us. And draw us ever closer to one another and ever closer to thee. For we do ask it in Jesus' holy name. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, we have Greg jumped in here. Greg, would you like to have to say something before we close the show tonight?
Well, thanks, Johnny. Sorry I had to step out there. I was having a little phone issues with my cord there. Had to run get another one. But yeah, hopefully you guys got all the bases. I did lose you for a little while. I'm very interested to know, to see some progress on this immigration deal overall, because I think that this is a very important topic with these children that come into this country without their parents, and Obama would keep them a while and give them back to whoever the person was that brought them in. But I think this needs to be looked at really hard. I think President Trump's got the right idea. He's been talking about changing the policy and get rid of some of these solutions that really amount to make the problem go away instantly, regardless of who gets hurt or affected, is basically the way that Obama had it, because it's we'll just return them to whoever that person is after after a short while. And somehow that was supposed to be moral and sane. So, no, I don't buy into that. And President Trump's not buying into that. And we know how much child trafficking and human trafficking and slave trafficking has been coming through that border. So I think we really need to take a long, hard look at this and find out, who are these kids' parents and where are their parents, and talk to these kids and find out what's really going on. And I know President Trump has been doing that, is more involved in that. But I think, the American people want answers on that. And that's about all I had to say on the issue. Is we want answers. We want to know, where are these kids' parents? And what kind of parent lets somebody get dragged through a desert crying and screaming? What kind of parent, who are these people? Who would treat a kid like that to be, dragging them across Mexico and South America and all this? So, as an activist and as a person who cares about children, I just, the whole thing just horrifies me, and I think we need to get to the bottom of it. I guess that's all I have to say, Johnny.
Thank you, Greg. I still have Troy, our special guest tonight. I want to thank you again, Troy. But would you like to respond? You have more information on this child trafficking probably than anybody. Would you like to respond to this, the type of people that are doing this?
Well, the child trafficking, it's an ongoing thing. It's been happening for a long time, but now it's even more. Like I said before, is drugs, child trafficking, prostitution, everything. It's a money thing. It's all money, and there's a lot of movement there, and it's something that it's going to keep happening. It's going to get worse. As the 25,000 members of this caravan, not only from Central America, but from all the parts of the world are coming. They're infiltrated there, terrorists, everything you name it, they got it there. So that's all I can say in regard to that. It's all part of the game here that these guys are playing, and just got to keep safe. That's all I can say.
Well, thank you, Troy, and I want to thank you again for being on our show, and I'd like to have you back on next week. Give me a call, and we'll see if we can set it up. Folks, this is Troy. He is a patriot. He's an American, Mexican American. He has a double citizenship. He is our boots on the ground. He is one of the commanders of a very, very large group of United Constitutional Patriots that is in Mexico, trying to work with the Mexican people or the Mexican authorities. So keep your prayers with this gentleman. He's in very dangerous grounds there, and we want you to know that Troy, we really appreciate you, brother. Our prayers are with you, and look forward to having you back on the show. Okay.
There's one thing that my group just sent me here. They want me to. They brought this to my attention. It's a picture of Mr. Donald Trump here. He's pointing a finger on everyone, and very elegant man. And it says, "They're not really after me. They're after you. I'm just in their way." So when I saw when the group sent me this picture with these words, I'm like, it gave me chills here, because it's absolutely true. They're not really after me. That's what Donald Trump says. They're after you. I'm just in their way.
Yep, and that's very true.
Okay, yeah, thank you for having me on your show. God bless everyone.
And God bless you, sir, and we'll be in contact, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and good night, and thank you, sir.
Yep, good night.
Okay, folks, that is boots on the ground in Mexico. The very ones that lost is that didn't catch the first part of the show. He is telling everybody exactly what is going on in Mexico, who it is, what they're doing, the weapons they're carrying. War Dog, hold on a minute. Everything, basically, you can go back and re-listen to the show after the show. It will be posted on YouTube, and you will get full impact of what we have trying to get into our country. It's not good. War Dog, before I close the show, you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that a lot of the gangs that are throughout the country are all connected to what's going on. And let me tell you, I've investigated this the last 3 years. You know that, Johnny. And they're all connected. They're in your town. They're in every town. They're boots on the ground, okay? They're right under your butt. They're everywhere. Secondly, that's what's going on. They've got their boots on the ground here, and they're coming across the border. And you just better report everything you see and be ready, because everything we've been saying, it looks like it's even more. So War Dog gets overboard on a lot of things. Well, it's worse than War Dog said. So they're here. The Bible says it. And you better do some praying. And you better do some locking and loading. And you better stay vigilant, because it's here. It's here. And just it in the Bible, it says it. And I'll just give back to you, Johnny. I'm not going to start preaching.
Okay, thank you, War Dog. Anybody else have any comments before I do my closing statements? Go ahead, Nuclear Warrior.
Yeah, I like that picture that Troy explained there. What he left out was that they're after us, and he's just standing in their way. Well, we stand with him, so they've got a big barrier to cross.
Amen to that. That is very true. Okay, folks, I want to thank all of our listeners tonight. And please, if you can donate, you can see the cause. You heard it from the south of the border, right out of their own mouth, what we're up against and what we're fighting. He said himself they are planning on coming through New Mexico because it is the only open border. They are coming armed. He's made that statement. He made it very clear. We need boots on the ground. I am giving a call to arms out to anybody that can help us, anybody that can come down and be on the border, stand shoulder to shoulder with these brave patriots who's willing to give their life again for America. These are not just patriots, they're veterans, they're police officers, they're ex-police officers. We've got medical people. They're all willing to stand shoulder to shoulder. Stand with them, please. If you want to donate, again, for the last time tonight, I'll give you the information. You can donate to the United Constitutional Patriots Facebook page. You can Google it. There is a PayPal on it. Donate whatever you can. Like I said, I don't care if it's $1. Everything counts. This is money for the men that are getting ready to have one hell of a battle. And there might be some body bags it's going to have to fill. And hopefully not, but some funerals are going to have to be paid for. I don't like to paint a bad picture, but the possibility is there, folks. If you want to be boots on the ground, if you want to be a part of it, you want to help, call me at 505-334-2492. Or you can donate to Johnny Horton or John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney, at P.O. Box, United Constitutional Patriots at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank all of our law enforcement out there that are fighting this battle with us, plus their own battles in their areas. They're out there to protect you, folks. When you see a law enforcement officer, thank him for what he does. Pray with him. Let him know you have his back. If you see an officer in trouble, stop and help him. Be an American, be a citizen, be a patriot. Stand up for your country. Fight for your country. If you can't fight personally, help us to do the battle for you. We are here to protect America, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights. We're here to help any way we can. I want to thank President Trump for what he's doing, our military, you name it. And with that, I want to say, God bless you, and I will talk. And we will see you next week. Just a second, ma'am, folks. I'm sorry. Hey, Keith, hang on. I'm on the air. I want to thank you for being with us. First responders, medical staff, they're out there for you, folks. They're the ones you need when you're in trouble. And trust God above all. Pray to God. Pray for all of us because we need it. We need it bad. And with that, we will see you again Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 o'clock Mountain Time, same time every week. And share this, hit that share button, and we'll be happy to do anything we can if anybody has any questions. God bless you all. God bless America, and good night.
Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots radio show tonight. Our next show will be on Friday, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to thank you all, and God bless every one of you patriots, and have a great night.